What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Down South Off-Road and Outdoor. Today is the day. We just got back from the Florida Adventure Trail, so it's time to start tearing this thing apart and getting it ready for some trips in the future. So one of the things I bought Kim for Christmas was the new Armorlite Flooring System. So today we're over here at Mike's Fabrication and Refinishing, and we're going to be putting this in. But we've got a little work to do because we've got to take our homemade sleeping platform out of here. But don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch that because it's not relevant. So, stay tuned. All right, guys, when you order your Armorlite system, this is the box that it comes in. It's a little warped because I did leave my box outside for a little bit. So we're going to pop this open. Even though we're not ready for it, we're just going to lay it out in the driveway here while there's a little bit of sun and let it straighten and flatten out. I don't know if that's actually required, but it's how the hell we're doing it, folks.
Cold weather is going to help.
Oh man, that's a cool one. Yeah. All right, let's see what they look like. That is so cool. So you can see they're pre-molded. They should fit the Jeep.
Insulated, so it'll be soft on the bottom.
Yeah. It's going to be softer. Hopefully it helps hold some heat in and should be pretty quiet. And that is the back.
You probably won't be good.
All right.
This is the big one.
And there's the big one. I am somehow. I mean, it's a cool. It's not like bed liner. What do you think it feels like? Kind of like a hard rubber.
It feels like bed liner if you peeled it off. Pretty much like a Line X or a Rhino one, the real thick ones. The consistency of it feels about like that. But,
yeah. So this is the full Jeep kit, guys. So it's going to do our front, our rear, and then our cargo area there. So it doesn't look like they needed to be laid out flattened. I mean, these things came out pretty perfectly molded. But we're going to keep them there anyway. And you can see your drain holes there too. It should have some drain plugs. Boom.
red quartz and some black quartz.
And so that's what's kind of cool, guys. You can. Oh, decals. We will put this on.
They even came with a left and a right.
Oh, look at that. So yeah. So we requested the red drain plug. I think normally from the factory they come with orange. So just be aware that if you do want a different color, you need to let them know when you're ordering this thing. We're gonna get busy ripping this thing out. Why are we taking this out? Because Mike is going to rhino line it all. So that should be fun. All right, guys, so we got the sleeping platform out, as you can see.
It's like a brand new rug.
I know, right? So now we actually are probably close to doing this. So right off the bat, we've kind of decided that we're not going to use this rear piece in Kim's setup because, as you can see, we're all covered by the platform here. So it's not really necessary. But what I was going to show you, when you order this rear piece, you have the option here for your subwoofer cutout. Or if you're like Bella, who has the subwoofer here, you can see they have your score lines here to cut this out so that this side fits around that speaker. So they've thought about everything, and it does just sit nicely right on the rim. So I think, guys, that I may just keep this for Lagatha. So Kim's not going to need it, and she's not here for the install, so what she don't know won't hurt her. He's just going to kind of pull the clip out of the plastic so that it's easier to get the stuff tucked under this molding. And he's going to be...
Kit Kat break.
Did you find some candy?
I did.
Yeah! Oh, that's some kind of crappy flavor. Ooh.
Yeah.
What kind of communist eats those weird Kit Kats?
They said this console was just supposed to pop out here.
Yeah, I think you got to pull the front of it up loose. So depending on your Jeep, you can do this with the seats in, but we've actually decided that we think it's going to be easier to do this with the front seats out. And since we can actually just slide them back into the bag, we won't even have to take them out of the Jeep. The reason we're doing that is because we have some amps and things like that mounted under the factory seats. And depending on what your Jeep you have, the carpet may have splits in a different area. So this way we can take the carpet out without having to cut it. So once you get the seats out, what he's doing now is just removing some of the plastic. And again, folks, you don't have to get this in depth, but we are. I don't know why we are, because Mike's a glutton for punishment.
Just getting some of it out of the way. Sometimes it's easier to not have to work with it.
So what he's doing is just pulling that carpet from the front near the pedals, and it is out.
There's a couple plastic nuts up here where these holes are on the corners.
So you're going to want to pull those.
Yeah, you can twist them off with your fingers. They're up above the pedals on the firewall. That's what retains it.
And you're going to see those same plugs with this Armorlite system. So with the carpet out, now you can see your drains easily. And when you're putting this back, you can see there's another drain there. That's kind of why we were taking these seats out, so we can see everything, clean everything up, and just have an easier time with it.
That big deal.
So now he's just got a few in the back. And so we're just gonna flip that straight back.
Yeah, this one does have an airbag for some reason. So we will disconnect the battery before we take that one.
So guys, apparently there's an airbag in this seat. So we are gonna disconnect the battery. I didn't know this, but Mike said anytime you see these yellow plugs, those are airbag plugs. Now you know. Always disconnect the battery before disconnecting. Seats are out. Now it is shop vac time. Oh man, there is mud water down there, Mike. I see it. Yeah. I see it. Oh, guys. You know.
Hey, when you think a Jeep's a boat and a boat's a Jeep, you just
I mean, I'm sure it's totally fine with all those wires there. Totally fine. All right, so he's gonna reach up.
One of these little plastic nuts.
Is that what holds the carpet in?
It's what holds it up at the front. The ones on the firewall I was talking about.
Gotcha.
The pedals.
And so you're just gonna pull those out.
Yep. See there?
There you go.
I mean, you can use a tool, but it's about useless. Because by the time you put a tool on it, you usually get them too tight and break them.
All right, we're gonna clean up. Was that that's the carpet dripping, guys. Kim, you're in trouble. So that is mud water, and that is like standing water. All right, guys, so we've got everything out. We are ready to put our Armorlite in. So Mike is just gonna slide it to the front. I'll show you on the next one. I forgot on this, but I'll show you those 3 holes. So he's gonna slide those under the pedals. It is a snug fit. But again, this Armorlite is gonna be thicker, so it's probably gonna deaden the sound a little bit. And hopefully, since we're living in this thing, help regulate the temperature. So now you can see why we took the seat out. So you don't have to, but it's just gonna make tucking this thing a much easier process. And so now he is gonna be
getting these holes on the stuff.
All right, so it sounded like you snapped in place, Mike.
Yeah, I believe it did.
Perfect. So I think the only thing that we did is we forgot to raise that center console up.
Well, I popped it loose just now, but there's another like frame piece up under it that's just as big as it is.
Man, that fits nice.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that fit is nice. You can see how perfectly molded it is around that center beam. What about the floor drain, Mike? Does it look good and lined up?
It's pretty close.
Nice.
You can look at there, it's just butted up to it, and the 2
right.
front sides were lining up pretty close. It just had a little slack there.
So here's your drain, and you can see that lines up nice. But again, once you look in here, I mean, that's a nice, good looking fit and finish through here. So.
And for all you Armorlite junkies, it'll slide you right in when you get
Yeah, look at that. I mean, I think it looks cool. So this drain is a little different. It's gonna go all the way through, but then it's got a much easier pull tab right there. So when you wanna clean it out, it's gonna be a lot easier to get that popped off and open.
You don't even have to stop.
Yeah. Well, and before you had to raise up the carpet and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so for those clips, he's just gonna take that and pop that straight back on.
Stuff's so thick.
Does the other one come down and meet that one?
Yeah, it does, but they'll not be able to.
Gotcha.
I was going to at least maybe try to hold one of them down. But that's how they go, and that's the same thing that's up here on the firewall. They're just facing forward.
If you look right there, you can see the studs that you're going to be pushing this flooring into. That's what's going to hold it in that position. So in the front, you'll see those studs will go straight through here, and then in the back, you have one here. That's what keeps it from moving.
And all of the wires and things like that we had ran for the stereo and stuff's just going to go right back under this, just like the factory floor, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it already is, actually. Almost. There. That's what I want.
You just need that little...
Just that little extra.
All right. Hold on. All right. All right, so we're just gonna line up that drain plug. Once he gets it in. We found on the other side that it's better to just tap it in with a
Rubber
mallet, just to make sure that it's all the way through to the metal.
The hot plug fits really tight, so like it shouldn't be whistling going down the road, I wouldn't think, you know, because it's got an air leak around it.
And it's not going to accidentally come open when you don't want it to.
I wouldn't think so, no.
So it's got a really good seal, guys. When you're ready to spray it out, boom, there you go.
It's nice and tight.
It's like we like it, Mike.
It's the American way. Nice and tight.
So the back carpet is much easier to get out than the front. Not a whole lot going on with it there. So
squeeze on it right there and slide it out.
Yep.
Wow.
All right. Guys, I'm already so happy with how cool this stuff looks in here. I honestly don't know if Kim's even going to run floor mats because the floor does look so neat. All right, guys, so remember, you're taking these original factory plugs out because the Armorlite plug is going to replace it. So let's get that in here. All right.
You can pull it up right here in the gravel.
Here, do I need to move that seat out of the way? All right. So same as before, he's just lifting up the console and just kind of tucking that under. So he's just using a clip tool to kind of pry that console up to get it under. And so you can see how taking the seat out made this a easier process. Well, maybe not once it's time to put the seat back in, Mike.
What was it?
Can we get to those bolt holes? To bolt the seat in?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. We might have to pull that back a little bit or something. And this
Okay.
one's cut right here, slotted.
Nice.
So we should be good.
Moved a little bit. There you go.
That helped it right there.
Yep. All right.
Let's get that other side nestled in place before we start putting plugs in.
Yep. Okay.
Because this one, it's still a little ways off. But it's,
Maybe because it's sitting crooked over here.
well, that's what I'm saying. Let's get it.
Just trying to get it folded under the molding. right. Looks like it's lined up a little better now. Look good?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that lined up good now, didn't it?
Push, can you lean in there or climb up in there and
Yep.
push down on that hump?
Yep, I sure can.
Perfect. So what you got? Believe that didn't on the first try.
Yeah, it sounded good. Man, this stuff goes together so seamless, guys. Check that out up there.
Pretty cool little deal.
Look how clean that is. Super cool. Now we just got to get that amp mounted
Metal
back.
right there.
All right.
If it had been molded, you might would have seen me throw something.
All right, so we got all the molding back on. So this is one of those moments where it's don't do as we did. There's nothing really wrong with what we did, but because we went ahead and put the front and the back in, when we go to put our seat in, it's gonna be harder to get to this back bolt on that side. So put the front in first, then put the seat in, and then run the back up. That's probably the order we should have went in. So because of how we did it, like I said, it's gonna be just a little tougher to, this one's gonna be easy because it just folds back.
Just hold that up right there.
But that one is gonna be a little more difficult. Yep, it sure did. All right. Put your seatbelt back together. It's important.
Thinking it's in the damn way.
All right.
Yeah, we'll have to pop this up.
So we're gonna have to, because the way we did it, we're gonna pull this drain out.
And we like to do it a couple times to make sure we
Yeah,
get it
you
right
know,
first
you
time.
just wanna make sure it's all in there right. And we're just gonna raise up this back half, hopefully. And see if we can get that bolt started. The folks at Armorlite were nice enough to make a video. We just sort of skim things, and we definitely don't read instructions. How was that, Mike?
It sucked. But these things are stiff as a board, and then them being cold too.
Yeah.
I bet it sucks just as bad as it would have trying to fit this bastard and bend it up and get up under the seat.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
I guess both ways have their pros and cons. This way we didn't cut our hands up on the seat.
It is a much easier install than I expected it to be.
I just think it's molded very, very well.
It is. I believe it really is. I was afraid you're just showing up with some kind of Amazon crap or something.
This is made in Asheville. Well, actually, it's made in Marion, North Carolina.
Really?
Yep.
So shipping must have been cheap, huh?
Yeah. Wasn't too bad. And it's done.
Almost. We got to tighten this other one still.
Oh, shit.
Well, and two, that amp, we'd have never got it. We'd have to take the seat out to get that amp loose anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that side, we didn't have no option on.
Yeah, so see, guys, we did this exactly right. We had to take the seats out because of that stuff. Mike's got himself out of breath. I don't think I ever heard you out of breath before.
Air's cool. It's thin. Alright, see there?
Nice. All right, guys. So we're going to do the same thing on this side that you saw us do. We're going to go ahead and get this amp mounted up and do the same thing on this side. So it's not, you know, we're not doing anything different. You need me to push?
Yeah, just push. Put your hand down in the middle of it again. Just keep a little pressure on it. Alright.
Nice. All right, guys. I just wanted you to see how clean the finished product is. It just looks great. Let's go around to the back. Because we have the back seats out, you can really see how well this fits the Jeep Wrangler. I mean, look at how beautiful this section is. I absolutely love it, guys. So we are getting ready to put the sleeping platform back in. I've got everything vacuumed. So you won't see this prettiness right here anymore, but you will see the stuff up front. The first thing Kim said when she got in the Jeep was, "Oh my God, it looks so good." It's really one of those things where you almost don't want to put floor mats down because it just looks so clean and cool in the bottom. But we're still gonna run floor mats because it's easier to spray off floor mats than it is to wipe out the floor. But I love the way it looks. I love how easy it's gonna be to get to those drains now if we've got to drain stuff out. The other cool thing is if you do have leaks coming from your doors, you're gonna be able to see where that water's dripping down instead of just having wet carpet now. So 10 out of 10, would recommend Armorlite flooring. It fits like a glove, super easy to put in. If we didn't have a lot of little random weird things in our Jeep that other Jeeps don't have, this would have probably taken an hour. So that was the install for the Armorlite flooring system for the Jeep JK. Honestly, like I said earlier, if we didn't have all the special stuff like the sleeping platform, things like that to take out, this install would have probably taken an hour. Super easy. Everything is cut so perfectly. And man, it's just sexy. So check it out. Made right here in North Carolina. And we'll see you next time, guys. There is the finished product. It is bed lined, a little more permanent looking. I'll show you the front side. All right, so you can see now what's really cool. With this bed lining, it actually matches the Armorlite damn near perfectly. So water is not as scary for us now.